if you recall, a few weeks ago, I guess it was a couple months ago actually, we drew a hand, and it was a handy way to remember the 5 kingdoms. We talked about plants being the thumb, like the green thumb. If you were number 1, we talked about monarans, which are single-celled organisms. The protist, and this is supposed to be kind of like this. The protist, pinky starts with a P, and the word protist starts with a P. And those are like the pond organisms. If you don't have a ring on this finger, you're a fungi. And then the finger that we sometimes call the bird represents animal kingdom. Those are the 5 kingdoms, and that's what we're starting to learn now. But we have to talk about classification so we can understand these 5 kingdoms real quick. The one that we're going to talk about today that you're going to learn the categories and group names for is regarding the animal kingdom, which is what humans belong to. But then next week we're going to start studying monarans, which are bacterias and also archaea. So here we go. Here's the worksheet that you needed to do today. It was the classification of man. Okay? So we first look at categories. Okay? The categories that you're going to need to know, and the largest one is called the kingdom. You should have read about these today. There was probably 1 hour where we did not read about them. But the categories start with the largest being the kingdom. It has the most species in it. So the next one down would be phylum, and then class, order, family, genus, and species. These are the categories that we're looking at today, okay? Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. The last 2, known as the genus and the species, are what make up the scientific name. You'll need to know that. So when you're talking about a kingdom, and which today we're going to talk about the animal kingdom, which is what humans belong to, okay? The animal kingdom, that's going to go under group name. We're talking about everything from snakes to insects to birds to humans, horses, cats, dogs. It's anything that moves, okay? That's the meaning. So the meaning of kingdom, which we belong to the animal kingdom, is anything that moves, okay? Anything in the animal kingdom is going to move, because we're not talking about the plant kingdom, which doesn't move. We're not talking about fungi, and we're not talking about single-celled protists or bacteria, okay? We're talking about animals, and they are multicellular, and they belong to the animal kingdom. So we start out with our largest group, being the kingdom. Now, when we go down to phylum, we're going to get a little more specific. Same thing with class, order, family, genus, and species being the most specific, okay? So in the phylum, now we're going to be talking about, and this is, by the way, this we are categorizing right now man, which I'm not talking about men, but humankind, okay? So if we're in the kingdom animal, well, we belong to the phylum called Chordata. And the meaning of that is that we have a dorsal nerve cord. You would know it as the spinal cord, okay? So our phylum is Chordata, which is the dorsal nerve cord. So we're talking about animals with spinal cords. If you remember, if you read today in your book, sorry, I switched the page, wrong way, go this way. You'll look at the owl. When you were looking at that owl, okay, the owl, trying to get it focused here, he belongs to the kingdom Animalia. I don't think that's focused, but nothing I can do about it. He belongs to the phylum Chordata, just like humans. However, when you get to class, you'll see he belongs to Aves. I don't know why that's so blurry. Okay, we do not belong to the class Aves. We belong to the class Mammalia, which would be mammals. They like to Latinize things in science, so just know that mammal and mammalia are the same thing. Okay? Mammals, you know them as mothers who can feed their young milk. Okay, or they have hair or fur. Okay, so mothers feed their young milk is what the class Mammalia means. When we get down to even more specific, now we're going to talk about the order. Okay? We're going to talk about animals who have spinal cords, who are also mammals, but the order they belong to is called primates. And primates means that they stand on 2 feet. Okay? Primates means that they stand on 2 feet. We're going to get even more specific when we talk about the family. The family that humans belong to is called Hominidae. Hominidae. When you see that Latin "day" on the end, that means family. So that is the family. All families are going to end with Hominidae. If you look on this one, the owl, which I don't know if you can see it, it's Strigidae. Strigidae. Okay, of course you can't see it because it's blurry. It wasn't doing that earlier. I don't know why. Okay, so our order is Hominidae. Excuse me, our family is Hominidae, and that means early man or specialized brains. Okay, early man and specialized brain. Our last 2 categories are the genus and the species. And again, these make up the scientific name. Okay, our genus is called Homo, and our species is Sapiens. Homo sapiens. Homo means true man. Okay, and sapiens means wise and smart. Okay, so our genus and species is Homo and Sapiens, and Homo means true man, Sapiens means wise and smart. Now, when you write the scientific name of humans, you write it out, Homo sapiens, you've heard that before, but you need to write it out a certain way, and that is you capitalize your H, and the S in sapiens is lowercase, and you always have to remember to underline it. So underneath the chart there, it says write your scientific name. That would be Homo sapiens. Make sure you capitalize the H and put the S in lowercase and underline it. Now there's a couple little interesting ways that you can remember all these categories and all these group names. You won't have to necessarily know the meaning, although you should know that animals move. But the way that you can remember them, and you'll have to change this at the bottom, is that it says King Philip, it should say King Philip can order fresh green spinach. And then the other one is that all chefs make perfect hot homemade soup. Okay? So, if you look at that, you'll see this should be kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. This would be Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, primates, Hominidae, Homo, and Sapiens. Okay, that's just a fun little way to remember our group names and the categories of classification. Okay, the last thing I want to go over real quick is binomial nomenclature, and that is the 2 names. This was put into the guy who invented this was Carolus Linnaeus. Actually, his name was Carl von Linn, but he liked Latin, and so he changed his last name to Carolus Linnaeus. And he is the one that came up with the scientific naming system using the genus and the species. Okay, hopefully you got that all done, and now you're done with your homework. So I'll see you tomorrow in class.